The corners to me are really key because Derek Ansley kind of mentioned it when he met with the media. It starts from the back up for them in that defense. They put so much trust in their corners, and if they can leave those guys on an island one-on-one coverage, it allows them to put more in the box and get after the quarterback and compensate for not having those difference makers on the D-line. And then also, what about guys that aren't listed that might be impact guys, Quavaris Crouch or maybe some other guys. And they'll also be in the nickel a lot too. I know that's just a starting way to put it. I think fans would say cash in and then we'll take a few down years after that. Personally, I take the consistent winning because when you don't win, it's not always because the coach can't get it done in those big games. There's other factors that are involved in that. So I take that consistent. I think that Chaney makes a big difference. Obviously, he's going to get the ball in the hands of the playmakers. He's going to have his playmakers on the field instead of on the bench where you only have one good running back on the field at the same time. For years here at Tennessee, I think that will change. You'll see Chandler on the perimeter. He'll know how to use his playmakers. I just think there's a limitation. You have a ceiling on how much better it can get, even with Chaney there, because of the offensive line.
And Josh, that's what comment on the offensive line. Your take there.
That's what it comes back to.
It looks like, hey, let's schedule to be bowl eligible. I mean, that's the way it looks, and I know that's not a new pattern of the way they're scheduling, but that's the way it looks. And I'm guessing a lot of Tennessee fans would feel like, hey, we're above that. That's for the Mississippi States and the Kentuckys of the world and Vanderbilts to do, not Tennessee. But I also think part of it is the home gate too. And yes, if you're good, they probably feel like, hey, fans are going to come anyway if we're good. So let's get good, and then we'll fill those up, and the opponent won't matter. But the biggest thing is it looks like they're trying to get wins. That pattern is the way the whole SEC has been doing it, where it's one marquee game, 2 group of 5, and 1 FCS. Georgia actually looks like they're starting to go a different direction, where they're going with 3 Power 5 conference teams. They have 9 Power 5 conference opponents already set up in the coming years. I think the trend is going towards the tougher scheduling and the home and home versus the neutral site versus 3 easy non-conference games. You're starting to see a lot of schools do that. Tony Barnhart had a really good story this week about how Georgia's really upped their scheduling. Alabama believes in it too. And I think you have to be ahead of the game. Josh kind of alluded to it earlier. Don't wait till you get good and say, all right, now we'll start scheduling in 8 years. You got to be ahead of the game. Yeah, I think these lists are about, I'll give you 2 things too. They're about projecting, which you mentioned, Ryan, and they're about getting people to talk about your list.
Click.
Right. So they're going to change some things up, and maybe they don't all believe, and probably everybody that's a part of that to put those lists together is not going to see it the same way. So it's projected ahead because they think Tennessee is going to have a better year than they. I love it. I think it's great. Fran McCaffrey, when talking about this week, he was asked about the 3-point shot. He said, the game has become a 3-point shooting fest. And that's from a guy whose team shoots a lot of 3-pointers. But that's probably because he feels like he has to, he needs to, in the game plays to that. I think there's so many more positives. All those things that were listed in the graphic, that those are true. But the game now is too one-dimensional. Guys are passing up on open layups in the lane to kick it out for 3. That is not the game. That's not the way it was set up. And you could still have those different styles, John, if you have the 3-point line, move back, more spacing, and actually it will enhance post play and give guys like Grant Williams and really talented mobile post players, I think will give them more space to be able to do what they need to do too.
I agree. I'm with Vince. Move it back.
And Josh's point about the NBA is absolutely right, because these guys are going to look at the way the NBA still, like the Houston Rockets, who more than 50% of their shots are from 3-point range. So if they continue to do it, then college guys and even younger kids are going to continue to work on that. And then the analytics too point you towards the 3-point shot.
Yeah.